Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today, Luke Matthews. He is an actual wizard.
I sure am.
At Odd Marketing. Luke, how are you?
And I just saluted on an audio only podcast. That's how in touch I am.
Dude, clever on another level. You are traveling the States currently, and there's a big issue at the moment. It's basically an Instagram, TikTok issue because that's where the battle is being fought. Business Insider did a massive piece on what Dave Portnoy calls a hit piece. And I'm in two minds. It's either the worst hit piece in history, or it's a weak attempt at a company takeover. Business Insider owns the Morning Brew, and they've got execs there, and they basically wanted to down Barstool and take over like a forced takeover. But it does raise an interesting point, how you basically, this whole cancel woke culture, when it hit, man, it just got retweeted by everyone. And it's like, yeah, Dave's not my favorite guy in the world. I think he's got some good and bad qualities. But like being accused of rape and then basically that just going like wildfire and without him having a chance to defend himself is pretty wild, man.
Here's the thing. How many bot accounts do you think that was, though? I bet you the vast majority. See, I actually think all that cancel stuff, I think most of those accounts are just bot accounts controlled by just a few people.
Ooh. So that's a tech aspect, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not human. It's like click farm somewhere in China. Someone's going click, 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 click. And so these bots could be anywhere.
Yeah, I think back in the day, I mean, Twitter has done a few cleanups, but I think it was over 60% of Twitter was bots, at least when I got started a few years ago. I don't know what it is now, but like there's a huge, even Instagram, like all these, there's a huge percentage of bots on these platforms.
Just put up in Instagram story. It's and you go after a couple of hours, you swipe up and say, "Watch my first sex." I'm like, what? What is that about? So that brings that brings me to my point. Is like we are all creators in this creator economy, whatever we want to call it. But you are building, look at the platforms that we're actually building on. Yeah, they give you great reach, but we don't own anything. So like my problem is like, how do we actually own what we build?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think being really honest about it is the best. At least that's what I do. I go, I don't really own it. So I know that at any point it could be gone. But I also know in the short term, you can take advantage of that if you understand that. So that's how I treat my Instagram and LinkedIn.
Back a bit. Quickly, let's walk that back. You got banned from LinkedIn, right? How many times?
A few times. I think
for doing
3 or 4.
So for doing what exactly?
Well, I think the first time, I said the word biatch, like BIOTCH.
Yeah.
Kind of slang, right?
Okay. That's not.
And I've seen people do a lot worse. I upset some people in the post because I think it was like on the hairy edge of politics. I don't even remember. I'd have to go find it. But anyway, they picked a word and then a bunch of people reported it and I got taken off for the weekend. I think it was 3 days. But the thing is, I was ready for it. So I knew eventually this would happen. So I have a business page and I have a couple of friends that are admins on it. So I basically just logged in through their accounts and then started posting on my business page as me. And over the weekend, my business page gained 1,000 followers, I think it was. Just because I took advantage of it. I just went, crazy posting and tweeting and saying, LinkedIn's banning people. I
was all over the hashtag free Luke Matthews. I was that weekend was like going full out. But it's something I've realized as well. You cannot just build on one platform. It's not being loyal. It's not like whatever. But if the tech overlords tomorrow they decide that we will cancel Luke, then they will. And then it is a good mate of mine, Darren Lee, he lost his Instagram account and he basically couldn't get it back. And you know what the funny thing is? It's as if he never existed. That's a funny thing, because it's like just you're taking away completely your digital personality is taken away.
Well, the thing I think too is I think when you understand followers don't mean a heck of a lot really, except to impress a few people. Like you can use them to get some clients but in the long run, those, at least for me, those are never the good clients anyway, because they're looking for metrics and numbers, and they don't understand that you really don't need followers to get leads or clients on social. So to me, if I were canceled today, I have communities built elsewhere. I would just make a new account. And I'm confident that I would build myself back and still have business, because I think, I have 40 something thousand on LinkedIn, 30 something on Instagram. 50, I think. But so I wouldn't have that, but I'm very confident that I could get business, get leads, and I don't really care about that number. And so I think it does show, like, as a creator, do you actually care about those numbers? Do you think that you need that kind of, obviously it helps with social proof, but do you think you need that to get leads, to get business? And I actually believe you don't. And I think a lot of people say I'm fine, I don't need the followers, I don't need this, but they don't actually believe that. So they're nervous. So I'm not nervous, man. I know what I want to say. I'll say it because I don't really care if I get banned. I'm very confident that I could hop on a new platform and start getting business within a couple months, because I understand all social's kind of the same. It's just understanding people, figuring out the platform. And I think you can build, there's so many now, and there's going to be so many popping up that, to me, it's not a big deal to get canceled. And I think that's where people lose, is they get really upset about being canceled and they back down or they apologize. Like, you know what, you're getting canceled anyway, so you may as well just ride or die, have a good time with it, and understand that this is going to happen. And you got to be ready, and you got to be ready, right? I think that's the thing, is people haven't been ready. Like, I'm ready. I have a Discord. I do have an email list. I have a website. I've got so many different social medias that if one went down or three went down, whatever.
And if everything fails, you can just like go topless on OnlyFans. I mean, I guess that would
or I'll go back and swing a hammer. I used to be in construction.
Fucking even better.
You know what?
Even better.
Worst case.
Whatever. Listen, but I don't think it's necessary, because there's a big decentralized movement coming on. And how does that fit into marketing and what, because you spoke a bit about Discord. I read somewhere that Discord admins actually get paid a fuck ton of money. That's something. Well, not every. I mean, it's like not everyone, but I mean, if you're like the Discord admin for Gary Vee or one of these guys, then I mean, that's some serious money. And imagine like telling your parents, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a Discord admin. They won't even like know what it is. But let's talk a bit about this decentralization. Where do you see marketing going in that space?
I think it's going to be a big deal over the next five years, even the next year or so. I just think
it's a long time.
5 years is a long time, but in 5 years, that's where we're all going to be, in this metaverse and decentralized communities and all this stuff. But even this year, I think that they're already popping up. You know, there's one called Deso. I don't know if you're on it. I don't know how to say it properly. Deso. But anyway, it's a decentralized social media platform. Okay. Already exists. Works great. There, you can have NFTs on there. You got your own wallet. You can get paid for your posts. If you like a post, you can tip people. You're in control of your own wallet and your own content. It's fully decentralized and secure. It already works. It's great. I've been on there for 6 months. It's new, so there's a lot of crypto people. You know, there's a lot of like NFT people, but it's there right now that you can get on. And I think more social media platforms like that, people are going to join them. For now, all the traditional businesses, they're still on big tech because, well, they're always way behind, right? So it's kind of, that's why I say I have my toes dipped in both worlds, where as a marketer, you know, I'm figuring these out so I can present them to businesses. So the people that work for me, I show my clients like, hey, you know, here's some of these communities I think that it could be profitable for you down the line. You have to make the decision if you want to pay me to start building for you there. Most of them don't, because humans, like, we don't look ahead. No. We want what works right now. We'll get on there when it's popular, and then it's too late. So
anymore. But which raises the question. I wrote a Twitter a post of you the other day. It was pinned to your feed or whatever, and said, if you're not building online, you can just as well leave it. You can just as well be dead. So
on Twitter, I think.
Yeah, it was Twitter. Are we completely off then your traditional old school marketing? Like, I would say things like word of mouth, handing out pamphlets on the street corner. I can't think of anything else at the moment, but are we, is that, I know it depends on the business, because it's all, I ask questions and then people say, oh, that's a hard question because it's not an absolute. No, I know we're not dealing in absolutes, but ultimately, is that still an option for, if you're looking to go like the non-tech route, right? And like in your neighborhood, is that still an option?
Well, I'll read you my tweet and I'll tell you no. My tweet was build an online business or submit to the system. Pretty much where we're at in 2021. So my answer is no. Okay. If you don't want to have to submit to the system and your local government and their decisions, then if you're doing business in person, you have to. If you're building something online in a decentralized world, you can't escape that. But you can't in person, man. No way. Like, if I'm in the US and the laws decide, hey, you know what, I'm taxing you on unrealized gains, well, then I got to either move or change my business. So that's the tough thing about those methods work. Like, I have a client that handed out pamphlets and went door to door, and they definitely work, but then they had to wear masks because that's the jurisdiction where they live. So then you still have to like be a part of the system. And I think that's fine. Everyone has a different level of, how free they want to be with their marketing or their speech or their business. And I think that's what I mean by like, it depends. It definitely works. But if you want to be free from having to worry about the system and all that, then no, you have to be online. That's the only option, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Listen, before I let you go, let's say you're a small company or a small business, or you work for yourself and you're struggling for exposure out there because there's so much noise or whatever. What are like two actionable items that you can give people that they can maybe go and look at?
So what I would do, I would try and at least do 2 or 3 platforms. If you're going to put any effort on social, if you only do one, you're wasting all that effort you're putting in. If you write one post, if you create a video, if you post a picture, you only post it one place, it's really a waste of your creativity. So I would pick a few. If it was me and I was a new business and I had no online presence, I would go on LinkedIn, I would go on TikTok, and maybe Instagram. And I would do a mixture of short form video. So under 60 seconds, Reels, TikToks. And then I would also post them on LinkedIn. Keep it really, you don't have to edit it or all this fancy video crap and pay someone a bunch of money. You know what? Just simple strategy. Talk to people about your business, talk to them about your day, start posting it, a lot. I would say 5 times a week, share stories. That's simple, because it's just, you have to understand the mindset of don't over edit. That's not marketing anymore. Ooh, you don't need to do that.
A very good point.
You just need to post. You just need to show people, oh, look, it's Luke. Oh, he seems like an interesting kind of quirky guy. I feel like I know him, so maybe I'll work with him. Yeah. So I would do that video.
Authenticity, right? It's that authenticity. It's like, he's real. Right? I can relate. Like, you don't need to like someone to be able to relate to them. If I can relate to Luke, like, it's sort of my guy. I can work with him.
Yeah. So I would do that. And then I would also, I would post, you're going to hate this, maybe polls on LinkedIn or text posts. So they get the most reach, and it doesn't matter what people think. They get the most reach. If you have 0, it will build your following. So if you're a small business,
I cannot endorse that.
You should post a poll every single day this month, because it'll go away, and it's already starting to. In about 1 to 2 months, polls will be the same as everything else, and all those people that hate them missed an easy way to build their business page. So I would post polls, very generic polls that reach a ton of people. And then I would do video talking about your business, who you are. So LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram for most businesses. And then don't worry about over editing it. Keep it simple, keep it quick. that's what I would do. So, and then understanding, like you said, that, okay, that's taking advantage of big tech. Now, what else should I do? I would combine it with actually still doing a blog on your website that has something that offers value to people. So you need to figure out a way, hey, I need to create, maybe it's one blog post a month, whatever it is, just simple. Make sure the SEO is good, make sure it's something that has decent value. That way, at least you're having something that you control. You can also reshare your videos on that blog post to help you rank in Google better. You know, I can get nerdy into all that stuff, but I would also combine a bit of that in your website, because it works still. You know, people laugh at blogs, but honestly, every single post you write on your website has a chance to rank on Google if you actually have decent value, or DuckDuckGo, or whatever you want. You know, so I would definitely be doing that, and that takes effort. You know, maybe it takes hiring a copywriter, or
I was about to say, like, connecting with copywriters on LinkedIn is one of my favorite hobbies. It's like, because you can learn so. This is going to sound very mean, but you can learn so much from them without paying them.
Oh, 100%. Like, you really can. If you're a small business and you have a small budget, if you're on LinkedIn and you follow a good group of people, you can steal a ton of ideas, and you could very easily do marketing yourself without paying anybody. And then that's what, honestly, when I do consultations to start, I will tell people, like, you know what, you don't need to pay anyone yet. You know what you have to do? You need to set aside an extra hour every day for your own marketing. You shouldn't pay me, you know, because I cost more. You need to start sharing a video a day about your journey, write one blog post a month, post polls on LinkedIn. You need that extra hour for yourself. And some people take it, some people still pay someone and get disappointed, but like, there is understanding that point. Like, when do you pay someone? When do you need to do it yourself? And when you're a small business, that's a big deal. You know, a lot of people get that wrong, man. They get that wrong. So,
well, that's the freedom of choice. We all have choice. We can be wrong. That's your choice.
Yeah, well, we don't all love choice.
We'll leave it there before we get cancelled. Luke, thank you so much for joining us. If the listeners want to connect with you, where can they do that? We'll obviously link all your socials, but what's the easiest way to get hold of Luke?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know what? Probably nowhere. But if you follow me, I get the least amount of DMs these days. On TikTok, because I suck on TikTok and I'm just starting my journey there. So if you actually want a quick answer, that's the quickest. But you can also, you know, comment on my LinkedIn or my Instagram or whatever, all the other places, Twitter. Actually, you could DM me on Twitter too, because I'm actually on Twitter the most. I'm on Twitter all day researching and, you know, so
I feel you.
One of those. LinkedIn, you'll never get an answer. I'm sorry. Like, I should answer more, but you'll never get an answer from me on LinkedIn.
Luke, thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Matthews, actual marketing wizard. He just saluted again for the audio. That's brilliant. To our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. I will check you in the next one. Cheers.